rather be on my deathbed.
Yeah, I'd rather be taken out.
That's what Sirach 30 say. Mic check.
Hey, how's it going? Mind if I ask what you guys are doing here? Like,
Are you Jewish?
Yeah.
Man, I can just identify y'all from a mile away. Teaching the Bible.
All right.
Teaching the Torah. We're teaching the Torah and the Tanakh.
So is this part of like the Black Hebrew Israelites thing?
No.
So what's the like spin?
Now, I mean, so-called. Now, the reason why I said no at first is because we're not black. Number one.
Okay.
See, I don't see why they identify us as black, because I'm not the same color as your bottle or your bag, right?
Right.
Right. So what color?
But I mean, like, I'm not white.
So what color am I? So what color am I?
Like dark.
Dark what? So what color is he?
Like a little lighter dark.
He's clearly brown.
Okay, you're brown.
He's clearly a brown. He's clearly brown. Now you said it. You're not white. What are you then?
Like tan, sort of.
You're
Like
not
dark, like dark white. You know, whatever.
Dark white? Yo, bro, he just made up some color.
Like,
no.
whatever. My family's from Ukraine. I'm like.
You're
whatever.
red. You're red. You're red.
Red.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
red. You're red. See, your cheeks is red.
All right, sure.
Yeah. So.
Let's say I'm red.
Yeah, because those terms came about in slavery during the middle 17th century. Identify blacks, because what does the word black mean?
Black.
Yeah. Like when you look up the etymology of the word for black, what do it mean?
I don't know. You tell me.
Black means wicked, evil, without light, malicious, dark, while white symbolized purity. So those terms were posed on our race of people to make it seem like we're the worst people on earth. Where what they say? We're 1/3 of a human, while so-called white people, y'all are pure, y'all are without sin. Y'all just y'all the standard. Y'all the standard of what a human being should be. That's why those terms was placed on our race and yours. So what we're doing is, like I said previously, is teaching the Bible. We're teaching that we are the true Jews.
So could you explain the logic there?
The logic?
Yeah, like how do you?
Okay, you're right.
Like, is there a tradition? Is it, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
And like, my family can say where we've been.
Yeah.
For like, you know, we know where we were 500 years ago. We know where we were 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we've got this like sort of chain of, we can sort of trace ourselves back to like the people living in Judea like 3,000 years ago.
How can you do that?
How can we do that?
Yeah. Because you can't say, what's that thing called?
What, the transatlantic slavery?
No. The testing.
Yeah.
You can't say DNA testing
23
because DNA testing only goes back so far, and it doesn't go back. It doesn't go back 2,000 years ago, or 1,000 years ago. Maybe 500 years, but 1,000, 2,000 years, DNA testing doesn't go that far back. So how could you possibly do that?
So I'll give you an example. Like, my sister took a DNA test, and it says 99.9% Ashkenazi Jew, right? And people who get that results come from all over Europe, even though like their common ancestor was probably living somewhere in what's called Ashkenaz, like France and Germany, and like this sort of mountain range, like 1,000 years ago. Like the common ancestor was 1,000 years ago, right? And so they still all get the same DNA results, and largely it's because of, I sort of study bio, mitochondrial DNA, like the mother's DNA passes down from generation to generation, and it's like preserved in the cells, just the mother's. Like the general DNA gets like scrambled.
Okay, so according to Torah Tanakh, how do you identify yourself as being a Jew?
How do you identify?
Yeah. What?
Through your mother.
Through your mother.
Yeah.
That's not according to the Torah.
Really?
Yeah. Let's get Ezra 2 and 59.
Hold on.
Are you? Hold on.
All right.
Hold on. You determine your true nationality by your patrilineage, by your father. And
sort of.
No.
According to the Torah, if you look at the Old Testament, I can't give you the source right now, but I could look it up. So it's like you determine what tribe you're part of through your father, and the reason is because,
exactly,
like when a woman would marry a man, like she'd go live with him on his tribal lands. So do you know the story of Slothcod in the Old Testament?
Who?
There was this dude Slothcod, and he had 3 daughters and no sons.
Oh, right? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And numbers.
Yeah, numbers.
And they went to Moses,
and
then
like,
was like,
hey,
yo, we need an inheritance. Okay, got you.
Because like the dad's inheritance was going to be lost, and so Moses like talks to God or something, and Moses says, okay, y'all can have the land. That's okay.
Yeah.
So it's like ordinarily the woman passes down the Judaism, and
No. You have the story misinterpreted, right? Because what that's going into, because every single tribe has their own lot. So what happened was they couldn't marry any other person outside of their tribe, so that their father's inheritance can stay within that lot.
Yeah.
That's why. But that doesn't determine one's nationality though. According to the Torah and Tanakh.
Right, but
so I don't.
Hold
on. So that story wasn't relevant. But let's go ahead and read this.
Let's check out Ezra.
Ezra chapter 2 verse 59, and these were they.
Wait, I'm sorry to cut you off. Can I just say something quickly?
Dang, can we read this?
No, I just want to give a sort of preface to Ezra. There's a growing school of thought, like I don't believe directly in the Bible.
That Ezra isn't a prophet?
That, and also, I mean, are you guys into like biblical criticism, like reading it and being like, how did these things come about, and thinking about it from like a human perspective, the Bible?
Hey, bro, he's trying to find any way to slither.
No, I don't even know what y'all are talking about in Ezra, but I'll just say, like, I believe.
Okay, then who was the main? All right, so then who was the main prophets during the Medo-Persian Empire?
Well, it was Ezra and Obadiah.
Nehemiah.
Yeah.
Well, Obadiah.
He was like the leader.
Obadiah was during the Babylonian Empire.
Oh yeah, sorry, Ezra and Nehemiah.
Okay.
But look, as
let's
someone
read
who,
it.
No, like
come on.
I'll say as someone who identifies.
Ezra chapter 2 verse 59, and these were they.
You're a little close, bro.
Which went up from Telamah, Tel-Harasa, Cherub, Adon, and Amr, that they could not show their father's house.
But they could not show their father's house. Go ahead.
And their seed, whether they were of Israel.
You see that? So you determine your nationality, your Israelite lineage by your father's side, not by your mom, your father.
All right. Do you mind if I just pull out? I'm just gonna Google something quickly because I mean this is.
And that's even logic. That's logic too.
Yeah, and it's science backed too as well. And also when you read different genealogies in the Bible, right? Like for instance, Chronicles, right? When you read Chronicles, you heard of Chronicles, right? Now when it's going down the line of genealogy, who is it? Is it women or is it just men?
Men.
Why?
Why?
Why is it just men? Why is it no woman reckoned in those different genealogies?
I don't know, but so
the reason why is because the man determines your nationality. That's why.
Okay, so what's the how is this relevant? Hold on.
It's relevant, showing you that you're only a Jew, you're only Israelite because of your father. That's why. That's why it's
so let's
relevant.
say you're only Israelite because of your father.
Yeah.
What do you deduce from that? You know?
No,
we're asking your question.
No. I'm saying
you made the point initially. You said that you had a common ancestor or something like that.
Okay,
based on like a woman or something.
Yeah. You said something about your mother. We said no. According to the Bible, you determine your nationality by your father. Okay, because question: is King David a Israelite? Is King David a Jew?
Yes.
Well, his foremother was Ruth, and Ruth was a Moabite.
Yeah, but then she converted.
You see, that's the thing. You can't convert into being a Jew. Can I?
You can.
No, you can't. No, you can't because hold on. Being a Jew is a nationality.
Okay.
That's your race. Because you can't wake up one day and say, all right, let me be Puerto Rican. Can you?
No.
Exactly. Same thing with being an Israelite. Nobody can just wake up and say, I want to be an Israelite today.
Right.
Then the next day, I want to be Chinese tomorrow. You can't do that. The same thing with being an Israelite.
Right, but let's say I really, like the Puerto Rican thing. I can move to Puerto Rico and I can marry a Puerto Rican woman and I could change my lifestyle to be Puerto Rican, and my kids are probably going to be, considered Puerto Rican.
Okay, but that's not your nationality though. Period. That's not your nationality.
Well,
Okay. Question.
Yeah. It doesn't change.
Okay. Question.
Okay.
The diaspora, right? We know that Jews are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth.
Sure.
So, a Jew got scattered to South Africa. Does that mean that the Jew is South African? No. That means that the Jew is still a Jew because his genealogy goes back to Jacob.
Okay.
So, another example. Let's just say I have a woman, right? I have a woman, and she gets pregnant, but we have the baby in Mexico. Does that make that baby Mexican, or does that make that baby still so-called a so-called black person?
I mean, I'd say the baby is genetically a so-called black person, right? But if the baby grows up in Mexico and is in Mexico,
well, all right then.
No,
All right then.
So what's the?
So that means that you can't just convert simply because of the landmass that you were born in. That came about during the time of the Greeks, and Antiochus Epiphanes IV. He was the one that made everybody like look, wherever you're born at, that's your nationality. Which anciently that's not true. Your nationality is based upon your father. That's why in the ancient world in the East, if you was to introduce yourself before a royal family, you would say, yeah, I'm this person's son of Solomon, which is the son of this person was the son of that person. You are recognized by your father, not your mother.
So then,
or the landmass that you were born in.
So then, how do you guys deduce that like you are the true Israelites?
Okay, perfect.
That's
perfect.
Ding, ding, ding.
Perfect. Now, when you read Torah, or in different prophecies in the Tanakh, the Israelites has a description of how they would be, where they would be at in these times. So when you read the book of Deuteronomy 28,
the curses, right?
When you read Genesis, the 49th chapter, Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, the 33rd chapter, it gives a description on the Israelites, which your people don't fit. See what I'm saying?
Yes and no. Like, let's say you assume that, my story is correct, right? And my account of the events is my great whatever ancestors were living in Israel, and then the northern tribes got, expelled, or some of them moved out to Judah. And then there was another exile where, a bunch, they were scattered everywhere. Right?
Hold on.
Then, I mean, they fit those prophecies 2,000 years ago, right? If you're talking about the Jews who were scattered, there were Jews in Alexandria, Egypt, living 1,700 years ago, who were sent there in the different exiles. There were Jews living all across the Roman Empire who had been exiled. So it's like, it doesn't mean, right, like, I assume that a lot of the prophecies you can tie connections to, relatively modern slavery, right?
Yes.
But those prophecies wouldn't have worked until 400 or 500 years ago. Whereas the prophecies would have applied to the Jews 2,000 years ago. So I'm not saying since it's better, I'm just saying like it doesn't need to apply it every single time.
No. See, the thing is with the curses is reoccurring. Right. It just doesn't happen one time. It just doesn't happen two times. It's reoccurring. So these curses in Deuteronomy 28, it happened multiple times. And like I said, we can go to a few of them and ask, well, when did this happen? When did this happen to your people? Like, for instance, the last verse, the 68th verse, it talks about going on slavery on a ship. Did the Jewish nation go on slavery on a ship? Even 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, did Jewish people go on slavery on a ship?
1,000 or 2,000 years ago? That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of persecution sent about on ships. Like, I'm sure people would tell you that, the Jews being sent away from Spain in 1492 could, tie connections. I don't necessarily believe that.
Who is renowned for going on slavery on a ship?
Blacks.
Right, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So why?
Hispanics.
Yeah, Hispanics.
What do you mean Hispanics?
Yeah, Hispanics. When you do your history in the 14th and the 1500s, you had so-called Native Americans. They were put on cargo slave ships, and they were sent to the Caribbean islands. They were also sent to different parts of Africa. When you watch the movie, when you watch the Bourgeois documentary on Netflix, which this is also real in real life too, you had a so-called Taino Indian presented before the Pope. Now how did he get before the Pope? Did he fly? Did he drive in the 1400s?
You're talking about the guy that was taken with Columbus?
Yeah, he was put. Yeah, he was put on a slave ship and was sent to Europe. You had
so
different.
Let's take the Native Americans.
Oh, but hold on. You have different indigenous Americans that were put on a slave ship and sent to Europe. So yeah, Hispanics as well.
So let's take the Native Americans for instance. Okay. How would they have? They're expelled. How did they get to Native America? The Americans.
How did they come to America? Well, let's get. This is
more like an anthropology history.
Let's get the Jewish encyclopedia. Now, I don't know if y'all believe in the. I don't know if y'all believe in the Apocrypha.
Not really, but I'll.
So y'all don't believe in the.
I mean, it depends which Apocrypha.
Okay. So do y'all believe in the history of the Hasmonean dynasty?
Like the story of Hanukkah, yeah.
In the Maccabees, right?
The Maccabees.
That's documented in the. That's documented in the Apocrypha.
Right. So there's that Apocrypha. I wouldn't necessarily believe in, the Book of Enoch.
Who?
Book of Enoch. It's like this guy
Enoch.
who like
Enoch.
Oh, Enoch. Oh, yeah. No.
That's
We
like
don't.
No one accepts. That's the only like.
We don't have Enoch. No. We don't deal with Enoch.
So
the Apocrypha, you got the prophet Baruch, which is the underling of Jeremiah.
Okay.
We got Ezra, first and second Ezra's, right? Wisdom of Solomon. Those books.
Ezra or Esdras? E-S-D-R-A-S.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Because there's two separate accounts.
Same person though. Same person.
Well, maybe. I mean.
No, it is. It is. Same person.
But I'm saying.
Same person.
Like, have you read through them?
Yeah.
So you know that there's the Book of Ezra and then there's Esdras, right?
Yes.
And it's a different name and there are small variations.
The reason why is a different name because how was what language was the Apocrypha translated from?
It was probably translated. One of them was written originally in Greek, I believe.
Okay, and the Latin as well. So that's just a Latin way of saying Ezra. That's all. Because when you read First Ezra, is talking about the Medo-Persian Empire, which the prophet Ezra in the regular Tanakh was during the time of the Medo-Persian Empire. Right. So. You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, watch this. Now, you ask, how did they come, how did the Native Americans come over here to America, right? Because, obviously, they ain't just fall from the sky down here.
Right.
Yeah, also, like, would you say that all Native Americans are descended from that? Or you'd say that, like...
For the most part. Now, when we say so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Americans are Israelites, we mean... For the most part, not every single black person, not every single Hispanic person, not every single indigenous Native American are Israelites. Because you have some of them that may look black, they may look Hispanic, but they're of another nationality.
Right.
But for the most part, these group of people are the Israelites, for the most part.
So, I mean, I guess what I'd ask is, take a language like...
You guys, have a good weekend.
If you think about a linguistic approach for a second, right? You take Latin, right? Latin was 2,000 years ago, spoken. It was like you had your classical Latin and your vulgar Latin. And today you've got languages that are descended from that. Spanish, French, Italian, Piedmontese, all these weird languages, but they're all similar, right? And they all have the same alphabet. But Africa has like some of the most incredible linguistic variation and diversity. Would you say that that all came from the same language 2,000 years ago? Would you say like that it's all descended from Hebrew?
Yeah. I would say languages definitely stem from the Hebrew. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
So if you take
because that was the first language. That's what everybody was speaking at one point in time. Yeah.
All right.
Of course. What language was Adam speaking?
I mean, if you believe the Torah, it's Hebrew. If you believe the Muslims, it's Arabic. I think...
What'd you say?
What would I say?
What say you?
I'm not a Bible literalist. I don't believe that everything that's written is true. So I don't believe that there was one Adam living in the Garden of Eden and that there was a flood. And if you take like a scientific approach to that, it's like two people and they populated the entire earth. If you take for the Jews of like...
We don't believe that. That's not even what the Bible say. But
right.
but that's a whole different topic. Let's stay on this real quick, right?
Sure.
So let's read this credible source. You can look it up for yourself, right? Go ahead, brother.
So this is the Jewish Encyclopedia.
And this is coming from your people.
This
is coming from your people.
Let's hear it.
Right.
You want to be on camera?
I'm happy to stay off camera, but let's hear what you got.
Go ahead.
It says the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of men, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell.
The 10 tribes of Israel will dwell. Go ahead.
Observing the law of Moses.
Yeah, that's dealing with the northern kingdom, right? Because the kingdom was split after the time of King Solomon. But the 10 tribes, northern kingdom. Go ahead.
It says, observing the law of Moses until the time of restoration, according to the book of Ezra.
Yeah, because when you read 2 Ezra 13 and 40, it talks about the 10 tribes leaving the Assyrian Empire and going somewhere. Go ahead.
It says Columbus identified America with this land.
Columbus identified America with this land, which is called Asherith. And 2 Ezra, go ahead.
And then it quotes its source where it gets that information from about Columbus.
Okay, cool. So America is where the 10 tribes came to, which was the indigenous, which were the indigenous Americans.
According to that, Columbus identified it with that land. Columbus also insisted for, till the end of his life that he was in the East Indies, right?
Okay.
Columbus never believed that he had discovered a new continent. He thought he was, all the way on the east of the map, and that.
Okay, let's get the lost lunar stone. Okay, so how would you rectify the 10 commandments in Mexico written in Hebrew?
I have never seen that. I'd
be
very interested to
see
that.
Cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Okay, cool. We're about to pull it up right now.
So it actually gives you directions to it. It says the lost lunar stone.
And what does it say?
So this is the stone. That's over there in Mexico,
Yeah,
right?
Mexico.
Where it has like ancient Hebrew.
That's the 10 commandments written in Hebrew.
Yeah, that's Hebrew.
By Mexicans.
Which were the so-called Aztecs. This is found in Mexico. Now, what is the Mexicans doing writing the 10 commandments in Hebrew?
It's pretty weird.
It's not weird. My friend, it's not weird. The reason why that's so because Mexicans are Israelites. That's why.
So don't you think if that was the case, they would be speaking a language more like Hebrew? They preserved the Hebrew writing and the Hebrew language.
They were. Why do you think they identified themselves as Aztecs?
I don't know.
What that's Hebrew? Okay.
Aztec?
Yeah, it is. It's Hebrew. What do you think?
What is that?
What do you hold on? What do you think? What do you think Brazil is? Brazil goes back to the Hebrew word Barazal, and those so-called Brazilians are Israelites.
Well, what's Aztec Hebrew for?
It means people of the time. Let's get 1 Chronicles 12 and 32.
That is a huge linguistic stretch.
No, it's not a stretch. I'm about to show you.
Okay.
I'm about to show you. Aztec means people of the time, and I'm about to show you why. I'm about to show you. Yeah, it should be 12 and 32.
1 Chronicles chapter 12 verse 32.
It says of Issachar, right? All right, go ahead, bro.
And it says, and of the children of Issachar.
And of the children of Issachar, which we say that the Issacharites are the Mexicans today. Okay. Go ahead.
It says, which were men that had understanding of the times.
Men that have understanding of the times.
Right.
Aztec mean people of time. Because in the ancient world, the Issacharites had, or the so-called Mexicans had the ability to be able to look at the stars, had the ability to look at the moon, to tell what seasons that we're in. Go ahead.
If I look this up in the original Hebrew.
Yeah, go ahead.
First Chronicles
12:32. Hey, man, he's in disbelief.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Never heard this before.
No, the thing is, there's no mention of the word Aztec in there. So
I understand, but they're calling themselves Aztecs, which scholars say Aztecs means people of the times. Right. Now, we read in the Bible where it talks about the Issacharites are the people of the time. 1 Chronicles 12 and 32. Couldn't believe it, man. It was a shocker.
32.
Hey, what tribe are you from?
What tribe?
Yeah, what tribe, by the way?
Judah, I believe.
You don't know? You're not too sure?
Not too sure.
Why can't you identify your tribe? 12 and 32.
Oh, first?
Yeah, first. Yeah.
Wait, which chapter? Chapter 12?
Chapter 12. Yeah,
okay,
verse 32. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm getting it completely. Okay. Look, if you look at the Hebrew, the word isn't Aztec, right?
I'm not saying the word verbatim is Aztec, but I'm saying the definition of Aztec means people of the time. And when you read the Bible, when you read what it says that these Issacharites, the tribe of Issachar, are people of the time. So why is it that the Mexicans, their ancient name meaning people of the time, and the Issacharites in the Bible, they were people of the time? How do you not see that connection right there?
Look, I think there is a connection, but I could give a million circumstantial random connections.
Like what? All right, go ahead, do it.
Like in anything?
Yeah. Something that's relevant to the topic at hand.
Like, all I'm saying is it could be a crazy coincidence, right? Not even a crazy coincidence.
Okay, well then,
people of the time.
Well then, explain the Ten Commandments written in Hebrew in Mexico. Then explain that. Then
look, I hadn't heard of that, right? What did you say it was called?
The Lost Lunar Stone. Los Lunar Stone. So why don't you go ahead and explain that? That can't be a coincidence. That can't be ironic. Explain that. Explain that then. And that's a proven artifact. That is a proven artifact. Can't debate that. You see what's going on in the media with Kyrie Irving and Kanye West?
Yeah, that's why I came to ask you.
I know. So then, twin brother Esau. Because you're really an Edomite. You see what I'm saying?
I don't see what you're saying. So how'd you see? I see the red thing. I get. You say I'm red. You say Esau's red.
Yeah, you're Edomite.
That my people came to be the Jews.
Okay, good. That's a very great question. It happened.
Let me guess, Khazarites?
No. You see, I don't like when people say the Khazarian Empire. I mean, it's some truth to that, but it goes back further. Your people became Jews or Jewish during the Hasmonean dynasty. You heard about John Hyrcanus, right? John Hyrcanus John Hyrcanus the First. He was the son of who was it? Jonathan? Is it Jonathan Thassi? That's his name. Hold on, real fast. Let me slide the Maccabees real quick. Let me slide the Maccabees real quick so I can. I believe he's the son of Jonathan though. Jonathan of Thassi. That's his son. Let me just check it real fast. First Maccabees. See where the sons are at. Oh, Simon Thassi. So John Hyrcanus the First, the son of Simon of Thassi, he forced the conversion of the Jew culture on the Edomites, and that's how y'all became Jewish, so to speak, because he actually forced.
Oh, that's him. That's him.
Hey,
he's a coward.
Hey,
boy.
Shut up, coward. Hey, shut up, fat boy. Fat boy.
They got him.
Shut up, fat boy. Hey, get out of here, fat boy. Go eat your Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm here to hear your guys' views, and I want to hear you guys out, because obviously
okay, cool.
You're enjoying a big moment in the media right now, and I want to know what this is about. But so anyways, you were saying.
Hey bro, it's all good, bro. He ain't talking us to no invalid point. But so John Hyrcanus the First forced the Edomites to convert into the culture of the Israelites. Just to sum it up, and you can look it up. You can look it up yourself. That's in the history. So that's how y'all became Jewish. Y'all just kept it from generation to generation to generation.
And what happened to the actual Jews who were living in Israel?
What do you mean? They're in the time of the Greeks.
Like what time was this? What year?
Greeks. That was
Alexander times, right? Like
what else after Alexander?
Right. So after 330 BC, about.
Yeah, around there. Just right before. You don't believe.
But it was the Second Temple times, and it was.
Yeah, it was.
So there were people who came from the Second Temple, and they built the Second Temple. Like they came from the diaspora, whatever. They built the Second Temple, right?
No.
Like Ezra and.
No. Well,
Ezra and Nehemiah.
Hold on. You're conflating two different time periods.
But they're sort of closely related chronologically, right? You have Ezra comes back around what year, approximately, like
about 400 BC.
All right.
But you're conflating two. I said the Hasmonean dynasty. That's during the time of the Greeks. That's during the time of Antiochus.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the Medes and Persian.
But I'm saying there were people living in, what is now like Israel. There are people living there, and they're Jewish, right?
And they're right now, currently.
No.
Back then.
Back then.
Okay.
400 BC.
Okay.
They come back from the diaspora, right? Like the king Cyrus, whatever.
Cyrus
says you can go back and build your temple, and they go and build their temple.
Okay.
And then you're saying 150 years later or 200 years later, right? They weren't Jewish anymore. Like what happened there?
There were always Jews. We're saying that your people are not the real Jews.
But I'm saying, what happened to the people who came from the exile and built the temple?
What do you mean? What happened? They were just living. They were being Israelites.
And they were still Jewish.
They were still Jews. Yes.
Okay, so then, what happened to those people? When did they get scattered about? And did the Edomites marry into them? Did they, according to your...
When did they get scattered?
I know when they got exiled again, but the Edomites, you say, were converted around what year?
During the time of the Hasmonean dynasty. I'm not too sure of the year, but during the time of right,
like
just
200-ish, right?
Just right before so-called Jesus Christ came on the scene.
So-called?
Yeah, so-called Jesus Christ.
Can you explain your view of Jesus? I'm just curious.
He's a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah.
So-called black?
Yeah, so-called black man. He'll be a dark-skinned man, like me.
And do you believe, according to
Revelation?
Okay. And do you believe in the sanctity and divinity of Jesus Christ?
What do you mean?
Did you believe that he was the Son of God?
Yes.
Okay.
He is. He is the Son of God. Yes.
All right. So I'm back to the previous thing. There are Jews who came. They built a temple. That's 440, let's say.
Okay.
And then 200 years later, around, you're saying the Edomites were forced to convert.
Yes, the Edomites, your people, was forced to convert into. Let's say y'all became Judaized. Y'all became Judaized by John Hyrcanus I, and then from that point, y'all kept that Judaism from generation to generation to generation up until now.
But did they intermarry with the
some
so-called actual Jews living there?
Well, some
between them and
some
the Jews
did.
Living in the
Some
world?
did. Like you had Herod, right?
Yeah.
You heard of Herod?
Yeah.
Herod was actually Edomite, because his father Antipater was known as what? Idumean, which Idumean is the Greek way of saying Edom. He married a Israelite woman.
Okay.
So you did have the men intermarrying with the woman, yes, but that doesn't really mean anything though. Because although they may have babies, that baby will still be an Edomite, because you are who your father is.
All right, but I'm just saying, what was the relationship between, so then you had this big group of people living in the land, and there were Edomites who had converted, and original Jews.
Yeah.
And then what happened that the original Jews were scattered, that you can trace your ancestry to them, but not the Edomites.
I just told you.
How do you know it wasn't the Edomites who were also scattered? How are the Edomites not also scattered?
You do have Edomites. You definitely do have Edomites everywhere too, for sure. But I don't see how that's relevant though.
Yeah, I think he's trying to cling on to the people that were converted, and somehow being as though now he's one of those.
I don't quite understand. So, all right. So
what I'm saying.
All right. So look, let me just break it down simply. Let's just say let's say I have my own religion, right?
Okay.
And I say, you know what? I'm finna go civilize this group of people over here. So I'm gonna beat them up.
Right.
I'm gonna make them bow down. I'm gonna make them submit to my religion.
And that's you guys.
Or whatever, right?
You guys are the ones forcing people to convert.
That's what happened. So then generations down the line, right? Those group of people who I may submit are still going to keep that belief system. Why? Because of me. But originally they wasn't.
Right.
Me just wanted power and dominance. I just wanted to control people.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna make them do it. But originally, when we go back to their original belief system, it wasn't of my belief system. It was a whole totally different belief system.
Absolutely.
That's what happened.
No, so what I'm saying is, how is it that during the exiles, those Edomites retained their Jewish identity, but like the blacks and all of the, you know, different
Oh,
that you trace.
perfect.
That's what I'm trying to
Okay, cool. Because it was all prophecy. Let's get Jeremiah 17 now. Because it was all prophecy that the real Israelites were going to lose their identity. That's all prophecy. Jeremiah 17 and 4.
Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger which shall burn forever.
You see that? So that's what Hashem told the prophet Jeremiah concerning Israel. Like, look, y'all are going to discontinue from your heritage that I gave you, which heritage also means land, but it also means your nationality, your identity. So that's why our people don't know who we are, because it was prophecy. It was all prophetic that we was going to lose our nationality. There is no coincidence why if you ask a so-called black man where he's from, he's not going to know where he's from. It's all prophecy. And also, when you read the book of Baruch, the 2nd chapter is prophetic that says that, look, you're going to remember who you are and praise me in the land of your captivity. Now, if you had to remember something, that means that you had to forget it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was prophetic that the true Jews will forget their nationality. I don't know if you've seen that clip of Toby getting beat by the Toby from Roots. Yeah. Slave master was beating him. I mean, how old are you?
19.
Yeah, you're like pretty young. So it's a movie named Roots, called Roots, right?
Roots?
Yeah, Roots.
Okay.
And you can look it up. Now, the slave master was beating his ass into submission. He wanted to cling on to his African nationality. He was like, "What's your name, boy?" And he was like, "Kunta." And he just kept whipping them until he said Toby, which is a white name, English name.
That's about as white as it gets.
Exactly. So that's exactly how we lost our nationality, because it was beaten out of us. So, now
you
hold on.
to find, you know, like remnants of that Israelite Hebrew culture in Africa?
Some of them, yes, because for instance, right? My father is from West Africa, like
he immigrated?
Yeah, like he came over here to America. So like he's from West Africa. He hopped on the plane and came here. Now my dad's from Ghana. Now when you take a look at the culture of them people in Ghana, it goes back to the Bible. Circumcision, virgins had to sleep on a white bed sheet to show the token of her virginity, show that she wasn't being a whore in her father's house. Animal sacrificing, they sacrifice chickens, goats, and sheep over there. Why do they do that? Why do they do stuff like that? They also keep the Sabbath over there. Why is that?
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. You're really. Why is that? Because some of them still retained the nationality or the idea of being an Israelite, or they read the Bible and said, "Damn, you know what? These people kind of sound like us," and they picked up on it. That's why. And there's no coincidence. Out of all the Jewish people we talk to, y'all don't really adhere to the Bible like that, or Torah period, or Tanakh period.
But you do?
Y'all be like, you know, I'm Jewish, but you know, we don't really,
Like,
follow
you
this
keep the
thing.
Sabbath?
Yeah, we do. We keep.
Like
You keep
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Right now is the Sabbath. Shabbat.
Well, we're not for us, because biblically, the Sabbath is determined by the moon. When you read Genesis or Bara Asya, the 1st chapter, it tells you that the moon is for what? And signs and seasons.
Like for the first of the month.
Oh, those exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So the Sabbath is really dictated off of the moon, not Friday sundown to Saturday sundown.
But like you're still practicing the Sabbath once a week, right?
Of course.
So just on Sunday or what?
No, it's on the Sabbath now is Monday. It's now Monday to Tuesday. Hey bro, man. Hey bro, my bad. We about to wrap up. I'm parked right there. Wasn't no parking. So we finna wrap up soon.
Oh, that's so much funner.
Yeah, the black car. Huh? I don't. I have to move it. All right. Yeah, I will.
I also gotta get going, but I appreciate you guys having this civil discussion with me.
All right.
Really, and it's nice to hear your views.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
what you think? What you think?
I think I'm not someone who takes the Bible literally.
You're gonna be right here, right?
Yeah, right here.
Just move it right there. That's a metered spot, but if you're right here, you can just you'll see. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah, bro.
It's just
Real
that
quick.
that's
Yeah.
called a safety issue, and that's
Right.
why they won't let me. All right.
And I'm the
I
I'm
can-
the
I
I'm,
can let you-
I'm the yeah I'm the red card too.
Fine, you're fine. As long as you're right here, it's fine.
Yeah.
But that, it just gotta. I gotta get you somewhere I can help you with.
Right, I got you.
Yeah, but as I was saying, like, I'm not someone who takes the Bible literally. I read the
Right.
Bible and I say there are too many problems here.
Right.
For example, like, if you think about the times that, the Jews supposedly came from Egypt, like, it doesn't work with the archaeological populations in the land of Israel. Right? Like, you look at what the populations were and the timeline does not work out. I see that as a problem. I see Noah as a problem, right? I don't believe that there was a great flood that drowned out the entire world and that he took all the animals, because how are you going to fit every single animal in the world onto a little boat?
Well, not every animal needed to go in there because, the fish were already in the ocean.
Okay.
Birds, of course, are already flying in. You can even look at the geographical landmass, right? And it actually shows signs that all of the actual continents were actually connected. Now,
Right.
majority of the earth is covered in what?
Water.
Water. You see,
Right,
but
if you think about, they call it like Pangea, like where all the
Right,
continents
right,
used to be
right,
connected,
right.
that was hundreds of millions of years ago, according to geology.
The Earth?
According to, the science, if you believe that.
But if you actually believe in the book of the Apocrypha, it actually shows you that the Earth isn't even hundreds of millions of years old. It's only about 12,000 years old.
Right. So what I'm telling you now is, like,
Yeah.
I just don't take the Bible literally. I don't believe
Oh
that-
there's definitely bro. There's definitely metaphors in the Bible,
Something like Noah.
some militudes in the Bible, but
But
there
I'm-
are some things that are literal though.
I'm saying, like, I don't believe that Noah went onto an ark and took all the animals with him.
Okay.
I don't believe that Adam was... And so if you think of it as more of a work of literature, which is how I approach it,
bro. Yeah, we are.
then generally with that approach, you'd see that a lot of this was very human, these doctrines. There are mistakes in the Bible. There are things that just don't make sense. Moses writing about his own death, Moses writing about kings in the Old Testament that
That's-
were not there for
that's
like
be-
hundreds of years.
That's because you don't understand what's going on. Of course, Moses didn't write about his death. Moses had underlings. Moses had scribes that after him wrote about what was going on.
But if you read the Old Testament, right, the 5 books of Moses, right?
Also,
it says-
also, question: what is the point of you even being a Jew if you don't even believe it?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's how we know that y'all just can't possibly be the
Right.
people, because y'all don't even believe. And y'all supposedly they're supposed to be the real people, but they don't even believe their own history.
Right.
So how on earth? See, so-called Black and Hispanic people hold this Bible so dearly, even though their knowledge of it is wrong. Because majority of the Christian and Catholic Church is so-called Blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, right? Although they're not in the truth, they don't understand the truth of the Bible. Why is it that our people just hold on to this Bible so dearly? You go into any so-called Black and Hispanic grandma house, there's going to be a Bible sitting on the table, open up to Psalms 23. Or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when it comes to the y'all try to disprove your own history.
Right.
This just goes to show that y'all just can't be the real people.
Right.
Because why we believe in it
They
more
don't.
than y'all? And y'all don't believe in it.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, like, I'm not in the majority. Like, of the people I grew up with, the majority take this book literally. And they literally believe in it. But there are a lot of, more liberal Jews like myself who are like, I look at the Bible and
Trust me, it's a lot of y'all, because this
It's a lot. It's a huge
because this,
percentage.
because this is not our first rodeo talking to a Jewish person. We done talked to many. Look, I've been teaching for almost 6 years. I done talked to many Jewish people, and none of them, every single last one of them I spoke to, do not believe. Some of them don't even know what tribe they're from.
Right.
I don't even know what tribe I'm from.
He don't.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So
but I can say I'm from Judah, right? I know I'm from, after the northern tribes.
the
got
kingdom,
expelled,
I'm the kingdom of Judah. The kingdom of
in
Judah,
like
so-called.
722 after they got, I'm from that sort of mixture that was in the South.
Okay, so why is it that there's a lot of liberal Jewish people? Like, why is that? How come why there's a bunch of y'all that don't believe in your own history, so-called?
It's a good question. I think, and look, it's like a historical question. My dad grew up in Canada, right? And he said in Canada that the gay people there used to hang out with the Jews because the Jews were just the most tolerant people in his town in Canada. And it's like the Jews have historically not been in positions to pick their friends, right? They haven't been in positions to, and it just so happens that, I think that's largely a reason why. Because if you think about like really hardline right wingers, a lot of them I think are sort of exclusionary, right? If you think about Donald Trump, he's saying I don't like he's sort of a racist or very much a racist, and I think the Jews, like their history, you know, my Jews have our history has taught us to be more tolerant. And
What's your point though? Like I don't
liberalism.
Right?
There's a certain liberalism to that. But I think that reading the Bible, and I've read through, you know, the majority of the Old Testament, I've read through a lot of it, and I think that there are too many inconsistencies there and problems for it not to be a very human document.
Well, okay. Well.
And that's I think that's the source of our disagreement here.
Okay, and the reason why, you want to know the reason why? Because this is not your book. This is our book. That's why you don't believe it. Because the Bible is not your history.
Right.
It's our history. So-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. It makes sense to us because these are our records. This is what transpired in our history, right? Why do you think? I don't know if you heard of Nat Turner. Why do you think Nat Turner rose up and started killing white people? Because he read the Bible and he said, "Oh shit, this is me.
Yeah.
This is me and my people. This is our records." That's why we hold on to it so well, and that's why people like you dismiss it because this is not your book. So what you need to do is find the Book of Edom somewhere, and you identify with that closely. It will talk about eating raw meat.
Right.
It will talk about not showering. It will talk about committing it.
There's no need to go there. We're having a very civil discussion.
I mean, it's white culture.
Very civil discussion
I mean, that is white culture.
White culture is.
Yeah, eating raw meat. I know you like to eat meat medium rare. You like your lamb medium rare.
I mean, it's true, but I don't see how that.
Because that's Caucasian culture.
What? And you have everything well done?
Of course. The Book of Genesis says you're not supposed to consume blood, for blood is the life.
Right. And if you think about, you know, how people do kosher, what they do is they'll salt the meat, and it draws out the blood and like dehydrates the meat. That's like if you ask like a kosher authority, that's what they do. And there's no meat, there's no blood yet. It's just you could have the meat raw and it still doesn't have blood.
Hey yo, I got a question about the oral circumcision. Why do y'all do that?
That's a really good question, and I can't give you an answer, and it really upsets me. It's disgusting. You're talking about the mitzitza bapeh?
Yeah. Yeah. Why do y'all do oral circumcision?
It's not an oral circumcision. It's like
it's
sucking the baby off after you.
It's
fucking weird, right? Look, I see that as the remnant of a very, very old tradition and culture, and I find it disgusting. And there are very few people who do that.
No,
I'm circumcised. I didn't have that. None of my friends had that. Very few people have that. I'm from New York. Like, there's a community of people where they do that.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Because I mentioned that yesterday. Y'all have a huge community in the Bronx, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. In the Bronx. Yeah.
Bronx,
the Bronx.
Queens, Brooklyn. Like Brooklyn has a very big Jewish community.
Yeah. I know.
Like Black Cat and.
Y'all have your own ambulances, your own stores, y'all own everything. Cause y'all own the whole world.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I mean, do you think there's like a conspiracy there? Or what? Like, how does that come about?
What you mean?
You say Jews are owning the whole world. I'm sure you're, on the like Kanye controversy.
You see, I mean, the prime example. You see, listen, it was fine and dandy when Kyrie said he was Muslim, but right when Kyrie so-called.
What's wrong with being Muslim?
Oh no, I'm about to make a point. Kyrie Irving said, "Look, I'm Muslim" last year or something like that. But then when he said, "Look, I'm a Hebrew," etc. What happened? His ass gets suspended. Yo, they saying that he might not even. The Nets might even waive him now. They might kick him off the team. So right when he started talking about Jewish people or Jews, he started catching all this hell. Why is that?
Don't you?
Why is that though?
Do you see the difference though? He can say, I'm converting to Islam. I want to be a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
He could also say, I'm converting to Judaism. I want to be a Jew. And no one would have a problem with that. What people have a problem with is saying, I'm Jewish and you're not Jewish. And the proof is,
He didn't say that though. He didn't say. That's the thing. He did not say they're not the real Jews. He didn't say that. Kanye may have said that.
Did you see the movie he linked though?
Yeah.
So that's what people.
Hebrews to Negroes. Yeah, I seen it.
I thought it was called Lions of Judah. Is that it?
I know it's Hebrews to Negroes.
Okay, so the problem is, and a lot of people I think rightfully find it offensive, is you're saying what you believe is your culture is not, and we know better than you, and that's our culture. I see it honestly as cultural appropriation. You probably see it as us doing the same exact thing to you guys, right? And But I think that's why people found it offensive. When Kanye said, "I'm going DEFCON 3 on the Jews, and you know the Jews own everything," let's talk about that. Like, what's
I mean that's true. The so-called Jew. I mean, Wells Fargo comes from 2 Jewish men.
true? And
Y'all own all the banks,
Comcast.
entertainment industry, every single thing. Y'all own literally everything.
What I'm saying is,
Yeah, the news, all those things.
Is that let's say Jews are just, you know, they look. I grew up in a household where we prioritize learning and family values.
But hold on. If I go on TV and I say, yeah, Jamaicans, they're dirty, I don't like them, they stink, nobody will not give a fuck.
Right.
But if I hop on camera,
hold.
no, that is very true. That is very true.
If a white dude goes on TV and says that, he's gonna get canceled.
No, he's not. But if I go on camera and say, yeah, the Jewish man, you know, I can't say. See, this is the whole point, because I can't even say an example because YouTube is going to take my video down if I speak wrong about the Jewish people. So I can't even make an example out of it. But if I say some disdainful words about Jewish people, the whole world is going to attack me.
They don't take you down when you say something about black people.
Yeah, of course not. Of course not. Why is that? Because y'all obviously rule the world.
But if a white dude goes on YouTube and he's saying the N-word and he's saying stuff about, you know, just bad stuff about black people, that's gonna get taken down.
Not. I don't think so. Not as quick as what's going on with Kyrie.
And everybody not gonna hop on them.
Yeah, no.
Like, okay, let's say so Jews own Comcast and Wells Fargo, and you know Jews are disproportionately represented in Biden's cabinet. Is that a problem in your opinion? How did that come about? Why is that the case?
Why did Jews own Comcast and all that stuff? Well, because
founded Comcast.
Why?
Smart Jews who said, "Let's found this."
They tricked. Hey, hot big. Oh, what you gonna say, bro?
No, he's trying to say like it's like a cultural thing, because he was about to go into the fact that, you know, they have family values and they teach financial literacy and all of this type of stuff. So therefore they're successful. And what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
Fuck out of it, bro.
Okay.
You got a head start.
Oh,
bro.
but hold on. Chinese people have family of values, family stuff like that, but they don't rule the world.
Chinese people have, you know, on average, a lot more wealth
Than who?
in America. In America, if you take the average income of, you know, immigrant families in America, and you look about like after the first generation, people from, you know, Southeast Asia and those areas have disproportionate amounts of wealth. Do you see that as a problem? Do you see it as a problem that Chinese students get better grades in college? Is that a problem?
I don't care. I don't care. It's really bigger fish to fry than that. Mm-hmm. All right. The point is that Jewish people clearly controls what goes on in the world. That is clear as day. Who controls the Fed?
Probably a Jewish dude. I don't know exactly who's in charge right now, but I'm guessing it's a Jewish dude.
All right then.
But
so if you can
that.
control the Fed, which that's what majority of the world. Well, you do have some nations that are coming off the Fed, but for a long time now, the whole world was running off the Fed. And if you have power and control over that, clearly you have power and control over the whole world.
But that doesn't mean the Jews control the world. If it was a black dude, no. If it was a black dude, who was
you got it, bro.
So right? Look, it's not that like, so say if like the Jewish man rightfully obtained all of these things through, you know, through like fair practices and whatnot, then what problem could you have with that? You know,
right. There's no problem.
But that's not the case.
Okay.
What my brother is explaining, even with the Wells Fargo and different like insurance companies and different banks, right? A lot of you Jewish people got rich off of what? The slave trade of my forefathers, right?
Absolutely.
So therefore, you didn't obtain them by right means. It was a lot by bloodshed,
by dirt,
theft. So therefore, you already had a head start. And then whenever, like speaking in the carnal means, when my people try to like rise up and try to do something, even though we understand that, you know, we're cursed, right, from the Heavenly Father, you guys, y'all somehow slither in and demolish it, man. Like, so how can I be happy when I see a cheater on top?
Let's talk about the slave trade.
Right? No, I want to talk about that.
No, that is that.
All right, go ahead.
I've heard this a lot. Our Jews, you know, were complicit in the slave trade. 100% Jew. There were Jews who were part of the slave trade. Like the Secretary of State of the Confederacy was a Jewish guy. Benjamin Judah, I think is his name. Jews were part of this society. And white Christians were also complicit in the slave trade and doing the slave trade, right? But you're not saying, are you, I don't know if this is what you're saying, but are you saying, you know, white Christians control the world? No, you're saying Jews control the world. But Jews were part of a society that enabled and was doing this slave trade just like white Christians.
What a
Just
so-called what a so-called Caucasian race runs the world. Period. Right. But it's levels to it.
Right.
It's levels to it. Right. You have the banking family, which are the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts. This is a known fact that they're Jewish, and they're the richest people in the world.
Right.
And they run the world.
Right. So it's
But
the
I'm
problem.
saying
The
they-
problem is with white
you're not proving
Christians.
they didn't get there through merit, right?
You said what?
You're not
Right, right.
proving they didn't get there through merit.
How?
What do you mean how? I'm saying, look, the Rothschild family, you know how they got their start? They're like a banking family in Germany. They really struck it big when one of the guys was like better informed and he knew that Napoleon lost the Battle of Waterloo.
That's what
And
they tell you.
That's what they. You could look at the financial records. You could look at the histories from the time. Of
Look,
letters.
point blank,
Judah
point
Rothschild-
blank. Period. Everybody knows how white people in general wealth came from. Everybody knows this.
Right.
And it's all free labor.
Look, my family.
Bloodshed, theft.
The majority of the Jews living in America today, their ancestors were probably not here during the times of slavery, right? My dad moved to America like 30 years ago, right? From Canada. My grandma's family on my mom's side, they moved from Ukraine like 100 years ago. They weren't here during slavery times. They weren't profiting off the blood and the things that were done to your
But the
people.
rest of your people did. So you
Well,
see,
I mean, by default, you yourself are profiting right now.
right.
How?
So you're standing right here. You're standing right here
Right.
in front of us.
And
What do you mean? And
I'm not sure what your point is.
technically, this is not your. Technically, you shouldn't even be right here.
What do you mean?
This is not your land.
So what is it, Native American?
Duh. Of course.
Are you in favor
Of course
just
it is.
returning all land to Native Americans?
Of course. Which we know is not.
Right.
Which we know is not going to happen. That's why our Messiah is going to come and put your race in slavery. But we know that ain't going to happen here. But technically, your dad having the free will to move to Canada.
Right.
Who was Canada inhabited by originally?
Native American. First
Oh yes, so,
nation.
yeah.
And his family got to Canada
Native
100
Americans-
years ago from
Native
also Ukraine, right?
Native Americans should have been right at that border with guns, shooting any immigrant down
They probably should've,
that
yeah.
tried to intrude
Right,
and shoot on their land.
I,
So yes, you by you even being here by default, you're profiting off of slavery by you just even standing right here,
Right.
because technically you don't even belong here.
right, but then if you take that point, then you could say that anyone who moves from anywhere to America and succeeds, they don't belong there and they're profiting off slavery. Right?
Well, everything
It makes
is
it impossible to have a discussion or argument.
well, everything is territorial. So if
Right.
So if one nation doesn't want your ass over here, your ass can't come. Simple. It's based off of that nation. It's based off of that nation. Okay, you want to come here, you want to live. Okay, you have to buy my rules, X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z.
America, right?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so take the Rothschild family, who you have a problem with. They made it big. I don't know what your alternative account is, but the Rothschild family succeeded by being smarter than other people. That's how they did it.
by a term called manifest destiny, right?
That's a completely different.
No, it's not.
Manifest destiny is the idea
What is
that,
it?
White Americans have the responsibility to move out and conquer Native American lands and subjugate them. It's disgusting. It's one of the most shameful parts of
Who
American
gave them the power to do so?
it
The
was like
banking
an ideology.
family. You keep running, bro. The banking family gave them the power to go around the world and rape, rob, and pillage.
Banking?
Yes, the banking family, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers.
I don't know where you get that. I mean,
That's
sounds like
that's common knowledge. Everybody
That's
knows
common
that.
knowledge?
Yes, that is common knowledge. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows
Look,
this.
I think your point here is what you're saying is every time that a Jew succeeds, it's not merit. If you think of,
It's not.
I think that's a ridiculous point. Look at
How?
Nobel
How is
Prizes.
it? How is
Look
it?
at Nobel Prizes, right?
It's a
Jews
valid
make up-
point.
Jews make up 0.2% of the population, and they've won like a quarter or like 30% of Nobel Prizes. That's science, that's medicine, that's chemistry.
Y'all wouldn't have got to that point if it wasn't for the enslavement of our people.
Right. So what I'm trying to tell you, listen. What I'm trying to tell you, even if you were somehow like a upstanding, Jewish American, whatever you call yourself, right? You dealt honestly and truly with everybody that you done dealt with. and you made it big and you became a multi-billionaire,
Sure.
and you believe that it would be off merit, by default it wouldn't be on merit only because what? The slave
It's
trade.
history. Period.
Exactly. So no matter what you do.
Exactly. That's like me. That's like me breaking into somebody's house.
Yeah.
I kill them all. I kill them all. I keep his wife. I keep his daughter.
Yeah.
I kill the son. I kill the father. All the male figures in the house.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is my house now.
Right.
And then and then my descendants, they're upright, they're cool, but they're still living in that house. But how did my descendants get? How did they get that house? By off of me doing something that is illegal, some dirt. So hold on. Let's not divert, because that's what he's about to do. He's trying to jump. He's trying to tap dance. No. Hold on, bro.
I respect that y'all at least having a conversation. More conversations need to be had. You know what I mean? I understand what y'all saying. I hear what he's saying. I just wanted to say I respect that y'all having a conversation because it starts from somewhere.
But yeah, so our people are done, bro. But what was I saying? But yeah, so
The house.
all right, so my descendants, yeah, they could be upright people all they want, but how they got that house,
Right.
how they got that all the nice big ass
Right,
acres and shit, was off of me doing dirt. So by default, they're dirt unless they fess up and say, you know what, let's move out of this house because this doesn't belong to us, and let's give it to the descendants that rightfully own it.
Right.
All right. So then, what right do you have to be here? You said your dad immigrated, right?
Yeah,
So what right do you have to be in
it's
America?
my brother. That's why we're a family. We're family. That's why we're families.
But your common ancestor is 2,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So does a French person have the right to, go into Germany and live there according to your thing if they have common descent to thousands?
The way y'all live is different.
for sure, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm
Yeah.
just glad to clear that up.
Yeah.
Look, I think
We're family,
honestly,
that's
I
why.
think your anger here is misdirected. The Jews were not responsible for the slave.
He talking some anger. We're
Yeah,
not bitter.
nobody
And
angry,
nobody
bro.
bigger. And nobody's bitter and angry or nothing. We're just telling the truth. This is just the reality of the situation. This is what happened. Listen. We didn't do the history y'all did.
Right.
Like, it's y'all history. We're just bringing up what happened.
They trying to run from it.
Yeah. You
I'm not
trying to run
to
for your
from
history.
it. I know that there were Jews
All right, look. Point blank.
who were
Period.
working in the slave
Point
trade.
blank. Period. All your nation is going to be destroyed, though. That's the whole point.
Do you not see that as, hateful?
That's what the Bible say. God hates. Get Romans 9:13. God hates. Hashem hates. Hashem hates Esau, and you're Esau.
Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So Hashem hate. God hate.
I mean, if you take your approach to be true.
But, well, I mean that's what it says. That's what it said.
No,
Hashem,
but then
Hashem
you're
hates.
saying I'm Esau, I'm Esav,
Yeah, you are.
and I don't
You
follow
Esau.
your logic.
Okay, well, cool. Well, you don't have to follow logic because it's not for you to follow.
Right.
Because
All right, I gotta
you're the
run.
wicked.
I'm glad we had this conversation, and it's nice talking to you guys.
All right, rat.
Get ready for
Ready for slavery?
I'm sorry, you don't see that as hateful speech?
No.
No, like genuinely.
Get
Hold
your
on.
ass ready for
We're
slavery.
We're having such a nice,
Get your ass ready for
conversation,
slavery.
And you're saying stuff like that, and you don't. Think
Yeah,
that's a problem.
because
No, actually, I'm
the
I'm trying to be serious.
conclusion of the whole matter, get ready for slavery, and you're nice. If you have any fine ass aunts, sisters, cousins, they're gonna be our concubines.
Oh, he had to run on that one, bro. Run, boy, run. Run, boy, run.
He had to get up out of here. That's right, man. That's what the fuck going on, man. Yeah, damn devil.
He had to run on that one.
Yeah, for sure, bro. He had to skedaddle. Hey, but it was a nice dialogue.
It was
a nice dialogue. But now to conclude it, get your ass ready for slavery, boy. Hey, you had Mr. Fat Boy. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Yeah, you had Mr. Fat Boy that came up and said Amalek is coming for us. And that was him?
Yeah, that was him, bro. That was him.
Yeah, Fat Boy came up here. Well, really, he didn't come. He walked all the way up the block and then started talking shit. Fat Boy. What'd I tell him? I forgot what I told Fat Boy.
When you said Fat Boy, that hurt him, bro. 'Cause he was running, then he stopped. He said, and then he turned around.
Hey, it's not my fault. Lose some weight. We did it.
Bruh.
Fat boy. Yeah, man. But that guy's a devil, though, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, bro.
He was a true devil, a true rat. Well, oh man, we didn't even salute in. All right.
Oh, we ain't saluted?
No, we didn't, bro. Yeah, because he came up as soon as we started.
He did.
All right, we give all praise, honor, glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. I just wanted to salute in, but we about to salute out. Because, it's time to go. So hope, you brothers and sisters enjoy the dialogue. All right, so with that, Yahweh desire, if you brothers and sisters were edified, all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, death to America, death to you condom hats, man. Shalom.
Shalom.
Yeah, that's right, death to America. America's about to be destroyed.
PTA.
All you old ass white people in it.
That's right.